Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to talk about a story regarding the late great rapper DMX. Some of his personal items will be auctioned off, and his family, they are very upset about it. And so I just want to talk about how sometimes in the Black community, sometimes we have to learn about money the hard way. It's literally trial and error. So now before we get into this story, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And of course, everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this story is allowed. All right, so rest in peace to DMX. I am definitely a fan. I love him. And, I love so many of his songs. The record that he did with Faith Evans. I can't think about it now that I'm recording. How's it going down? How's it going down? Duh. I love that record. And he did a song with Aaliyah, Back in One Piece. I love that song. So I feel like the two of them are together in eternity, right? So I definitely, the story caught my attention once I was finished making the Chrisley's Pardon video. Definitely check that out. So I read the caption for this story and it kind of broke my heart, so I wanted to talk about it. So shout out again to the Jasmine brand. That is the source for this story. And the headline reads, DMX memorabilia auction projected to earn tens of thousands of dollars, and the family is outraged as proceeds are expected to bypass his children and ex-wife Tashera. So here is what the caption reads. The legacy of DMX is hitting the auction block, but his family is not celebrating. Gotta Have Rock and Roll is launching a highly anticipated sale featuring rare behind the scenes artifacts from the late rapper's early career, expected to bring in up to $40,000. From 1990s freestyles to handwritten lyrics and unreleased tracks, the collection paints a vivid portrait of DMX's path to hip hop royalty. But while collectors are eager to bid, DMX's ex-wife Tashera Simmons says the auction feels like betrayal. These are Earl's memories. His children should benefit, not outsiders, she told TMZ Hip Hop. The items reportedly come from a former industry associate, not a family member. With unreleased music, vintage concert footage, and intimate personal recordings up for grabs, the sale may profit from the past while ignoring the future of the 15 children DMX left behind. Now, there's so much to unpack. I have so many thoughts about this. First of all, I thought the number was kind of low, 40 grand. If there's going to be like handwritten notes with lyrics to some of his raps, unreleased tracks, 1990s freestyles, and it's expected to bring up to about 40 grand. I just thought that number was kind of low, but I am also curious, who is this industry associate that has all of these items? Obviously, this is someone who spent a lot of quality time with DMX, definitely knew him personally, where DMX felt comfortable keeping some of his handwritten lyrics with him, with this person. So I'm very curious as to who it is, and why wouldn't they want to give that to his children so that they could have those memories, like handwritten lyrics? That's something that they could treasure and hold on to and remind them of their dad and almost feel like he's, right there with them. So I think that that's so odd that they wouldn't even share that with his kids. DMX passed away young, like I think he was 50 or 51, and his children are young. So they're very young to already lose a parent. So I think that it would have been best to give those items to the kids. That just seems so out cold. And I feel like whoever this person is that had this memorabilia, they obviously did not remain close with DMX, because there's no way that they would just hand it off to some sort of organization to auction off and not give it to the kids. Or at least say, I think these items, these handwritten lyrics are so special. Totally keep them in memory of your dad. There are hip hop museums. I believe Atlanta has like a trap museum. Like if they said, okay, some items I want to give to you kids and other items I do want like in hip hop museums, because we have to keep your dad's legacy alive. That sort of balance I would have totally respected more. But to just totally have it auctioned off, and it seems so personal, very personal items, it just seems kind of out cold, to his kids. So I just remember the funeral, and because he has so many children, there's like a huge age range. There's like the young adults, like his son Xavier, and then he has like a young daughter and son. I remember they looked like they were like maybe 6 and 7, and they were rapping at his funeral. It was both sad and I guess like bittersweet, because the sweet part is I could already see their creativity that they got from their dad, obviously, but it was sad that they are so young to have already lost a parent. And this is coming from someone who has lost both parents. I lost both parents by age 36. Definitely grown, right? I was grown, I was educated, I owned a couple of properties at that time, but still young. Like, it's not like I was in my 50s or 60s losing parents, So to see little kids that young without their dad, that was, very sad. So I wanted to also talk about, because when I think of DMX, I think of, at one time he was very wealthy. When his ex-wife Tashera was interviewed by Carlos King, it's probably been at this point, I don't know if it's been 6 months since Carlos has interviewed her, maybe like 4 to 6 months. She said that he was like a multi-millionaire. She said she wouldn't be surprised if he was close to a billionaire. And he was asked to be one of the original investors in an arena with Jay-Z, and DMX turned it down. And Tashera felt like that was a huge financial mistake. And sometimes, especially in our community, if we don't know anything about it, if we haven't seen another Black person do that one thing, some people are going to be so close-minded. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to get my hair done by one of my cousin's then girlfriend. And she's like, you know how people are when you're a kid, and what do you want to be? When you go to college, what are you going to major in? And I'm like, journalism. And she's like, journalism? Have you thought about engineering? And I was like, no. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a news anchor. So after I got my hair done and I went back home, I said, Mama, Jackie was telling me that maybe I should think about being an engineer. And my mom was like, and what do Jackie do? And I'm like, she does hair. And she's like, okay, why are you listening to her? Which, that was an excellent point. But the point that I'm making is, if someone didn't think about it themselves, or they don't know anyone else majoring in journalism, they're going to discourage you from doing it, because Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, who told you to come up with journalism, And back in the day, that was the thing. If Black people were going to go to college, they would major in engineering. Or if I know so many Black women, when they would get the MBA, the Masters of Business Administration, they all got the same concentration, which was in like healthcare administration or human resources. I'm like, wow, it's like all the Black women are working in HR, I guess. But yeah, like typically whatever like you see someone else do, like you're going to do it, and like that's it. And then you really have to be open-minded, especially when it comes to money, because you could find like another way to invest. And sometimes, like in the Black church, everyone just wants to do what's just safe, which is like investing in a CD, a certificate of deposit. That's when you put the money up in this account and you do not touch it for a certain amount of time. But the interest rates on those things are a joke. It's like when you put money in your savings account, don't expect a huge return, you know. So if you really want to play big, you would have to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you would invest like in the stock market. It's up and down, it can be volatile, but when it's up and it's stuck, right? So even with the lows, when it balances out, sometimes give or take, the average return could be about 8% in a healthy economy, even with highs and lows when it balances out. But whatever percentage that the stock markets could give is going to be higher than just the savings or certificate of deposit, which is why you'd be open minded to diversity in your investments. And I'm saying all of this again to say is a lot of times we don't have these conversations. They're not rocket science. You know, it just takes a listening ear. You could ask questions, you could take notes and meditate on your notes, and you'll totally get it. I say invest in your 401k, act like it don't exist, don't touch it, try not to withdraw unless you really have to. And I definitely say don't withdraw for things like ceremonies and stuff, because that's going to be a hard pill to swallow if you withdraw dozens out of your 401k for a wedding and then everything goes left. Like, oh my gosh. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Do what you want to do with your money, okay? But I think of these things whenever I see DMX, because it's sad to think that when he passed, there was a financial lack after his popularity and the albums and the singles and the tours. I just don't get it. And I know what I just said, explaining 401ks and CDs. There's like a huge fly in here. I'm sorry for the distraction. But what I was talking about is for people's like personal finances. On his level, I would imagine it would still be if he wanted to invest in the markets or invest in a business. But when you have millions, I would imagine it's just a matter of not running through it all, you know? But it's pretty sad. And I can only hope that the kids get more opportunities to make money. When DMX passed, they were saying that there was unreleased music and he had just filmed a documentary. So I kept waiting for the documentary to come out, never heard anything about it. So I'm like, were those just rumors that he filmed a documentary? Or what is the holdup? So I don't know if it's something legal or if there's a party involved that doesn't want anything released. But I would imagine that could benefit the children as well. And hopefully, maybe the kids that are into sports, maybe they'll go to college on scholarships. And I believe his son Xavier was in college when he and DMX filmed Iyanla Fix My Life, I think. But hopefully his kids will do well in life regardless. I'm sure that they will. But I wanted to share this story with you all. There are some people in the comments who are very upset. One person says, the hip hop community is a joke. How do y'all allow this to happen? And some people are reacting to him having 15 kids. So, but yes. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention, it also seems like with some Black celebrities, when they do pass away, there is always some sort of financial cliffhanger. Like with James Brown, rest in peace to Mr. James Brown, there was like a paternity issue. So like he couldn't be buried right away. Some people like joked and said he was sitting in the air conditioning while they worked out the DNA. And there have been other stars when they've passed away. There is drama, with the families and the money. I'm like, why is it always the celebrities of color? Remember the show that would come on Saturday mornings, not American Bandstand. I think it was the top 20 or top 10 with Casey Kasem. And when he passed away, he had like an ex-wife and a current wife, children with both, and they were like all fighting, over his estate. Now, I will say the one white celebrity that passed and there was drama was the television filmmaker Aaron Spelling. When he passed away, the mother and the daughter, Tori Spelling, they were at odds. I think that they've made up at this point, but they were definitely fighting over the cash. So it's like with them, there's like money to fight over. But when Black celebrities pass away, there's just like, other financial issues. And I just wish it wasn't like that. But what do you all think of this story involving DMX's memorabilia being auctioned off? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much. I hope again that you had a terrific Tuesday. I cannot complain. I'm already ready though for Friday to get here, Friday evening, so that we can chill. I get my locks retwisted Saturday morning. So I'm definitely ready for the weekend to get here. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.